Well, we're sitting here live with author, lecturer, historian Ashra Kwesi. For 17 years, you've been going back and forth to Africa documenting our story. The first question I want to ask is, what's the significance or what's the detriment of having a European perception of Christ, or particularly having a deity that doesn't even look like us as a people?
Spiritual enslavement. When you have someone who is looked at as the deity, is not in your image, that is where the enemy has become the deity. Historically, white people have been the enemy to African people. We, in fact, look at the deity as being a God figure. Then this is where we say the enemy has become the deity. This is, in fact, spiritual enslavement.
Let me ask you a question. From the standpoint of self-identity, how do you respond to brothers and sisters who say, well, look, I'm not from Africa, I'm from Detroit, or I'm from Chicago?
Even when you look at Detroit and Chicago, even in that, black people are not from there. We migrated there from the South. See, so the foundation of how we got even to those cities was a migration from the South, and then how we get to the South is because the slave ships docked at the South. So we've got to continue to go back. Again, when someone says that too, is a part of a deep inflicted wound of hatred. The lack of knowledge of who we are will cause you to say anything negative about yourself, and this is what has happened to African peoples. Talk to a Chinese person, they don't tell you they're not Chinese, they're from California and from China. They set up a Chinatown, and they gave the ethnic identity of their town China because they're from China. And as long as we are locked up into that thinking, we will never become a people who have power in this country. We will always have our money circulating in somebody else's communities. We will not find ourselves taking that resource, that economic resources, and start to building in our own community. So we've got to understand, to build an African town, we've got to understand the power behind understanding who we are and our own ethnic identity and building on that power, not from individualism, but from a collective effort as an African people.